feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
What's up, YouTube? It's Maddie and Mystic Skywatcher, Agent Orange, baby. Mad Mystic 777, Board Queen 777. What's up? Truth or Two. What's up, YouTube? All right, it's the 20th of September 2022, before the economic collapse. It's Tuesday. Was it 6 p.m. or something like that? I don't know. Anyways, how's everybody doing? I see I got some ducks in the house. 6:09 p.m. reporting out of Hotlanta, Georgia. Yeah, the dirty South. So I just wanted to say, I hope you guys are ready. So, Orange, you ready? I've been telling you guys, Orange, you ready? My titles. So yeah, the ducks. Yeah, the ducks are in the house. Of course. So go check me out on Twitter, Mystic Skywatch 1. And we're going to go over some of my Twitter feed right now. How about that? How about them apples? So how's everybody doing today? Staying out of the hive mind? Probably not. Probably not. All right. Let's take this off with some dumbass doing something really outrageous. So let's look at the zombies. Where you gonna go? Hey! Peter, where you gonna go? Hey! Peter, where you gonna go? Hey! Peter, where you gonna go? I don't know. Hold on. I don't know. You know, the world world can't get any more zombified. And lots of indoctrination everywhere you look. So, yeah. So what my channel's about. Exploring the dark side. Dark to light. Dark to light. All right. Oakland, California. Check it out. California. Yeah. Look at that. That's like every major city. It's real. I mean, how could it not be bad in California when the rent is so outrageous? The mortgages, the property value. I mean, that is insane. It's actually raining there. Wow. Chemtrail nano rain, black goo rain. There you go. So I don't know where they think all these people are going. Like it's about to get really heavy. Yeah, more heavier than it already is. This is a good one.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
What are you doing with that?
We're trying to figure out how to put gas in the car. I'm sorry, not gas, but in the tire. Can you help me instead of taking video?
Do you know what that is?
No. What is it?
That's propane.
Oh, shoot. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
Where is the gas? Oh, it's air water down there. Sorry. Well, thank you for letting us know.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to blow the...
Oh man. Oh, yeah. All right. This is interesting. I found this very interesting. What is this? Anyone know?
Pulling out of the ocean.
Look at this.
What is this, or what type of creature are they pulling out of the ocean? At first glance, it looks pure white. One guy's holding a foot when the other guy seems to drop a fin. I'm not sure what type of animal this is or person. Let me know. Leave in the comments. Unanswered Universe. What is this, or what type of creature are they pulling out of the ocean? At first glance, it looks pure white. One guy's holding a foot when the other guy seems to drop a fin. I'm not sure what type of animal this is or person. Let me know. Leave in the comments.
A chimera. I would call that a lab experiment, starman, starfish. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's very interesting indeed. Something from Montauk. I don't know. Just found that. Eerie. All right. Okay, here we go. The old cashless society around the corner.
And if you noticed,
with a cashless society, the social credit system will come for everyone.
And if you notice, my country was the first where they made cash illegal. 2016, digitalization was forced in the country. 8 o'clock in the evening announced midnight, cash was illegal, the big notes. And 70% of the economy crashed. This digitalization is now going all over the world, and there's a war on cash. They call it war on cash. Because cash is merely a medium of exchange. It has no value in itself. It's just a promise. You read the dollar note, it says, I promise to pay the bearer. A, when it's digital, even a credit card, you're giving rents to the global financial system. But when it's cryptocurrency in the hands of algorithms, in the hands of big tech, they will do what is happening in China. Create social credit system to decide a new caste system. And you might have also followed that while all this has been happening, the founder of the World Economic Forum did a book called The Great Reset on how to deal with the COVID crisis. And everything we're seeing unfold is part of that Great Reset. But an element of that Great Reset is you will own nothing. Now, I'm a believer in the commons. And it would be so good if all land was a commons, if all seed was a commons, if food was a commons, if health was a commons, so that we had strong public health systems, strong community health system, deep knowledge about being healthy. But when Paul Schwab says, you will own nothing, he's saying we'll own it all. That's why you have Gates, not just owning the seed, wanting to own our food. One, of course, controls the health, and now owning land. This, if ever there was a time for humanity to wake up, now is the time.
Too late for humanity to wake up. That's just over. It's done.
With the cashless system.
That's just over and done with. We were warned in the books that they're burning. I have videos that they're burning books in my city. They're banning books. So basically, you can call it burning books, banning books, same thing, basically. Like George Orwell, 1984, Animal Farm. I think Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury. I mean, it's just outrageous. So this is already a done deal. I don't know what people are thinking. Yeah. So, hold on a minute, guys. Oh. Okay, I'm always getting a ring on my doorbell while I'm streaming. Okay, check this out. Camel toe. Let me play this really quick.
Over these last 18 months, Democrats have delivered big time.
Right back.
Don't laugh. That was the highlight. That was the high point of the speech. And boy, haven't the Democrats delivered big time. Biggest gas prices, big inflation, more than 2 million illegal immigrants crossing the southern border. That's big. And don't forget the dramatic increase in violent crime in Democrat-run cities.
How about that? How about that? Over these last 18 months, Democrats have delivered big time.
Don't laugh. That was the highlight. That was the high point of the speech. And boy, haven't the Democrats delivered big time. Biggest gas prices, big inflation, more than 2 million illegal immigrants crossing the southern border. That's big. And don't forget the dramatic increase in violent crime in Democrat-run cities.
How about that?
How about that? Man, the crime is skyrocketing. It's outrageous, man. Yeah. So does it look like a plan? Yeah, I can't show that one, but you can come and look at my feed here on Mystic Skywatch 1 here on Twitter and look at some of these videos that I wish I could play, but I can't. Here's a good one by Dabu7. And I am going to play this. This is interesting what's going on. This is to tell you, that's why I have my videos titled the last 2 days the way I do. Because they're telling us, it's very evident. No, I don't think anybody sees it. Besides
this is
us.
Dabu7. A heads up for what looks to be a big event coming around the corner. And it could be a culmination of things strung together But what we're seeing right now are some ominous signs. We've got some of the biggest CEOs of the biggest companies out there slashing all their inventory ahead of the busiest time of the year. This has people that watch charts and that watch this daily scratching their head and saying, hold on a second, something's about to happen or something huge is about to go down. And of course, we've talked about the recession, inflation, all these factors tied in together because of this Biden regime and where they're sending everything. But we had one CEO, the one of FedEx, actually come out and say that he believes this is where it's all going, downhill into a major recession. Maybe these others are just not willing to admit it, but their actions are speaking louder than words. We have Walmart, Target, and other retailers canceling billions of dollars. And it just doesn't make any sense. The holiday season is typically the busiest time of the year. And at this time in 2021, there was actually a great deal of concern that there wouldn't be enough inventory to go around due to the global supply chain problems. Everything's changed now. Now, all of a sudden, the retailers are feverishly canceling orders, trying to make it match the environment from a year ago. Something huge is going on here, folks, when you have this many companies making these moves. Let's look at some of the numbers here. Walmart is admitting that it just canceled billions of dollars in orders. Okay. Then you go down here and the next one, Target, has canceled more than 1.5 billion in orders. So billions. It turns out Kohl's and Under Armour have also been canceling large numbers of orders as well. So it just continues to stack up. And it seems kind of obvious to me that all of these CEOs are walking out of a meeting because they're part of a big club that you're not a part of. And they're told what's coming and to prepare and to do things accordingly. And it looks like they're doing that. So call it the writing on the wall or just paying attention to what's going on around you. These types of actions only mean one thing. There's going to be a whole lot less of goods in this country in the coming months ahead. That's for sure. Going into the busiest time of year in terms of buying the holiday season. So how is this going to turn out? We don't know. All I can say is I hope folks have a plan out there and see where this is going. The global government here steering everybody into a trap. Join me Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern as I break this down further. Hit that subscribe button below.
All right. So yeah, as Dabu's stating, there is something's going on. Now, from what I can see, as job hunting, as they say, yeah, there's lots of retail jobs out there. If you want to wear and go down with the protocols of the indoctrination that's going on. So, if you are a sheep, then yeah, there's plenty of jobs right now. But if you're not a sheep and you're a black sheep like me, oh, it's really difficult. So yeah, what are you gonna say about that? Is I don't know if this is if they're just pulling back because of the economic collapse coming, but you know it's still the holiday season. So I don't know. You know, I don't know about that. So check out Dabu. He covers a lot. So canceling billions of dollars in orders, probably because we're about to go in for a crash. Like, look, check this video out.
Exact end day of the Shemitah, which is the exact end day of every 7 years, on the exact end day of the Shemitah, which is the exact end day of basically the Jewish year every 7 years. There's usually a major market collapse, and it's actually usually on the exact day. This is a Shemitah year, and it actually ends on September 26th, which is a Monday. So I've definitely said to keep your eyes on that date. But when I saw this, I was like, what? It's a German politician.
Dieser 24. September 2022 wird uns allen als ein Tag im Gedächtnis bleiben, von dem wir später einmal sagen werden, ich weiß noch genau, wo ich war.
And even more interesting, on top of the German politicians saying September 24th is going to be like a day that everyone on earth will remember, the Vatican has told all of its people that whatever funds they have across the world to send them all back to the Vatican by September 30th, which is like 4 days after the end of the Shemitah. And of course, when they tell people this, you know, you don't just wire billions of dollars on like September 29th when the Pope told you to have it back there by the 30th, right? You probably do it a few days before. And they probably mentioned that to them. So the Vatican seems to know something's going on. So something like these birds flying by, black birds, black clouds, something ominous seems to be on the horizon.
Sorry, I thought I was waiting for more. Yeah. So, you know, we should all know what's going on by now, right? Well, I don't know where that went. Okay. Here's a little funny one. I thought this was pretty hilarious.
Not real. What? You are? Is any of it real? I mean, look at this. Look at it! A world built on fantasy. Synthetic emotions in the form of pills. Psychological warfare in the form of advertising. Mind-altering chemicals in the form of food. Brainwashing seminars in the form of media. Controlled, isolated bubbles in the form of social networks. Real? You want to talk about reality? We haven't lived in anything remotely close to it since the turn of the century. We turned it off, took out the batteries, snacked on a bag of GMOs while we tossed the remnants in the ever-expanding dumpster of the human condition. We live in branded houses, trademarked by corporations built on bipolar numbers, jumping up and down on digital displays, hypnotizing us into the biggest slumber mankind has ever seen. You have to dig pretty deep, kiddo, before you can find anything real. We live in a kingdom of bullshit.
Into the kingdom of bullshit. Oh, I wanted to name my title when I seen that video. This one, I was like, damn, I should name my video Into the Kingdom of Bullshit. Isn't that a good title? Into the Kingdom of Bullshit. Seize the day. This is a good one too.
This is
makes you think.
Wrong. What if I told you that from here to here is the world map, and this is wrong? What if I told you that from here to here, it's 6,400 kilometers, but from here to here, which only looks like half the size, is 7,200. The continent of Africa has been shown smaller than it actually is. What if I told you that Greenland was only this size, or Russia was this size, or the US and Canada were much smaller? You know what? This is the real map. Look at Sweden, Finland, and Norway. They're much smaller now. Or Greenland is tiny. Maybe this is the world.
Makes you think. Makes you think. It makes you wonder, huh? What is the truth? For real, for real. What is the truth? Yeah, you were speaking of Timo. Yeah, the large earthquakes, the sevens. When it's in the 7.5 range worldwide, and it creeps to the 8s. Oh, we're in so much trouble. It's rocking and rolling. So that's the real reason why you're seeing the bank runs. You're seeing the takeover is because Wormwood, Nibiru, Planet X, whatever you'd like to call it, the binary sun, our second sun. His second son is coming. The Christ is coming back. Second son's coming back, right? So, Yeah. So yeah, it's out in Yellowstone's rocking and rolling, and I covered that in the end of my video on Board Queen 777. I don't know what channel you guys are on. I'm on Mad Mystic 7772 right now. So whatever channel you're on, I covered it in my last video because there's a lot of uptick in the last week. Also, with some mid 3-pointers, 3.5. Yes, 2 days ago on the 18th. So yeah, it's very concerning. Do they know something? Well, they have devices to make the Earth rumbles. Tesla tech to rock and rattle the Earth if they wanted to, make things happen. Hey, what's up, Nomadics? Nominix. I'm sorry, I always mess that up. Good to see you. So yeah, guys. Okay. So yeah. So something's happening. This is a weird one. What was this?
UFO.
Oh yeah. The alien invasion. Here we go. This was like interesting. Look at this.
So let's see. What is that? I'm telling you, this is UFO. I promise. Why? Why? What? Tell me. What is that? It's no Photoshop.
What is that?
It's no Photoshop. It's no Photoshop. Look, it's no Photoshop. Look at that.
Queen airplane.
No, it's not Queen aeroplanes. It's
Queen airplane. It's a pylon, David. No, it does lights. And the airplane, they never fly me close to each other. So look how close they are.
Again, I will go smaller. I go zoom. What is that? And zoom. This is for me. It doesn't look like aeroplane. Look in zoom. Look in zoom.
It does, because it's orange as well. What are these? Why does it look like fire? Yeah, why does it look like UFOs? Wait, why is that one not?
No, listen. What is that?
That one. Oh yeah, that's a star. Look at scary.
UFO.
I think I know what they are.
So let's see. What is that? I'm telling.
So you guys see how this is TikTok, which they could be mind controlling everybody into a fake alien invasion. Because this video, yeah, it looks real, but I question things, especially things that come out of TikTok, Chinese spying platform. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that, if it's real or not. Hey, skies above. If you want to chat, I dropped that link because I'm about done showing everything I had lined up on Twitter. So yeah. So I expect more of this type of garbage. If you didn't see it, let me finish playing it. The fake alien invasion.
This is UFO. I promise. Why? Why? What? Tell me. What is that? It's no Photoshop.
What is that?
It's no Photoshop. It's no Photoshop. Look, it's no Photoshop. Look at that.
Queen airplane.
No, it's not Queen aeroplanes. It's
Because it goes very slow. It's a pylon, David. No, it does lights. And the airplane, they never fly me close to each other. So look how close they are.
Again, I will go smaller. I go zoom. What is that? And zoom. This is for me. It doesn't look like aeroplane. Look in zoom. Look in zoom.
It does, because it's orange as well. What are these? Why does it look like fire? Yeah, why does it look like UFOs? Wait, why is that one not?
No, listen. What is that?
That one. Oh yeah, that's a star. Look at scary.
Yeah, interesting. It seems to be real, but people do a lot for views because it makes them a lot of money, as I showed you in the videos yesterday. Yeah, so interesting, huh? Let's see what other videos I have. Oh, here's another one. Oh, this one's great. Hold on. Gotta get you back over here. So if you guys want to chat, click that link. Check this one out. You know I'm not anymore a supporter of T-Man, but look. Check this out. Have you seen it? I don't know, but here it is.
Hey, I'm a Biden voter. Hey, I'm a Trump voter. Excuse me? Don't you know that Donald Trump is a racist? Am I black? What? Did I stutter? I don't know how to answer that.
Joe Biden seems to think I'm not black, so.
No, Joe Biden would never say that.
You don't say.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Joe Biden loves diversity.
Well, Joe Biden also seems to think black people are not diverse.
Okay, that's just not true.
You sure?
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
He didn't mean that.
Do I look like I'm on cocaine? Like, am I on cocaine?
What?
Well, Joe Biden seems to think when he gets confused, he seems to think that black people are on cocaine.
No way.
Here we go again.
Have you taken a cognitive?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?
So, what is it? Am I black? Are black people diverse? Am I on crack? My president would never say that stuff.
Turning Point Action is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Hey.
Got a new solar filter for my telescope. Check it out. See if there's any flames. See if this sun is a ball of fire like they tell us. I also have the solar sheets here. See, this is a solar filter sheet. Let's see what it shows. Here we go. So the sun is not a ball of fire. Okay, I'm going to turn the exposure up for just a second. See? It's just an extremely bright light that God created for light upon the earth. Now I'm going to turn them back down. You can almost see like a texture on it. And I don't know what those black spots are, but they are always in the same place. I have theories, but of course, nobody knows for sure because we can't get close enough to the sun to actually examine it or take any samples of it, obviously, because it's way too hot. But yeah, this is what the sun actually looks like through a high-end telescope with a really, really good solar filter.
Dang. So what do you guys think about that, man? That's intense. I'm like, yeah, no, that's why I called out everybody, all the channels that I was working with, modding for, that we were spraying out, and they are still spraying out NASA's garbage satellite feeds of the LASCO C2, Core 1, 2. So yeah, I used to too, guys, for 4 or 5 years. However, actually I started my channel doing it, and earthquakes and all the feed. In fact, you can go to, like, if you don't believe me, you can just go over here to, I believe I have it pulled up, my Odyssey channel. I think I have all my Yellowstone stuff. Yeah. So they have, not all of, but they decided what videos they wanted to upload out of my 1,400 videos. They only uploaded about 381, I believe. And these are some of them. But they failed to do a lot of my early videos that I used to do all the feeds. So like the actual, I mean, I do feeds in here, but I did a lot. It was a lot different in the beginning of my channel. So I've been talking about this stuff for a while. So nothing new under the sun for me. Telling you guys this for the last 5 years, just showing you. But for some reason, Odyssey only wants to upload what they think was valuable or fit their narrative. So, censored everywhere I go. So, yeah. So just wanted you guys to know that, yeah, I've been talking about this for quite a while. So, yeah. Let me go back over here. Anybody want to chat? Let me go back over to Twitter. In fact, hold on. Let me drop this. Let me drop my because I'm in a few days I'll be streaming over there because I'll be able to pay for. I have to pay for another stream, OBS Streamlabs on top of StreamYard to stream on Odyssey. That's the problem. So that's $50 a month for me, and yeah, unemployed. So it's not like I have 13 supporters on my Buy My Coffee link, donation link. So I appreciate everybody that's donated over there and the ones that have, because they've kept me going on StreamYards the last few months. Because my funds have dwindled to nothing because of my divorce and in between looking for a job now. All right. So, but I will be streaming over here. My point being is go check me out over here because I'm about to be able to stream over here. Only thing I'm missing is, yeah, the payment, and then I will be over there. So that's going to happen in a few days. So there's that. All right. So I just took a walk with my dog and noticed that, and she was wonderful. She did such a good job. It was a very pleasant walk. It was a very pleasant walk because when I look up at the payloads, there were none. No payloads of death raining from planes. So the sky was looking really sweet today. Very normal, except that white sun, you know. Okay, so, So, yeah, guys, other than my Twitter feeds, I don't know what else. I can't show you a lot of this because I would get in trouble from the censorship Nazis. All right. In fact, the fluoride may cause more human cancer death and causes it faster than any other chemical. I believe that totally. That's why they put it in water and toothpaste. And yeah, it's terrible. They don't want us to dream, folks. They don't want us to be awake. So yeah. All right, I've showed you guys all this. So basically, that's all I can do on Twitter. Okay, so how's it going? You have payloads galore? Yeah, up in the north. I noticed that up in the northeast. Like I've noticed in Indiana. I've been watching Restore the Republic, Tim over there, and yeah, he shows the sky often, and it's wicked. So I believe that Ohio is wicked there. So you have, I think the system, you guys, I don't know, they're covering up. It's not here because the system I've already went through here. Yeah, so interesting. Okay. Hold on, northeast, huh? Well, yeah. How's the crime over there? How's the crime? We just had pouring rain. You just had, oh, really? Looks like You probably get a rainbow at Ecstatic. So say, are you doing any live streams soon at Ecstatic? I think Planet X Watcher, isn't Snaps doing a live stream or something? I didn't catch the time. I thought I seen something, but I don't know. Maybe, possibly. So that's why I came on here early, because if that's happening, I'm gonna be watching. You know, I'll be a keyboard warrior and all. You know, so yeah. They've been microwaving me, guys, the last couple days, sitting on my computer here. They don't like my keyboard warriorness. So when I'm in Snapchat, it's not good. I have to bounce off and back and forth. Yeah. Something to do. I believe it has something to do with these LED lights. I'm not sure what it is they're getting me, because I've moved my everything. And it has to be these lights. I've got lots of LED. I don't know. It's like really wild what it could be. It's something to do with my computer, though. So, yeah. So I pick my battles. Is what I'm saying. So I'm just chilling, doing a little chatty do, you know, laying low, because I'm waiting for other people to ruffle feathers and scales, you know. If you're wondering what I'm eating, dark chocolate. Does. Yeah. Figure I need to gain some fat for the winter, for sure. I'm way too skinny right now. But I've been exercising a lot, walking up these hills, building muscle, but not enough. I need to be working out at a gym. But, you know, I don't know how that all goes. The muscles and all that. I'm not playing that game, so I just won't work out. Actually, I was trying to grab a free machine on Neighborhood app today, so I could work out at home on like, I don't know what it was, some exercise machine. But it was already taken, so I'm sure I'll find one soon. I do have a car. I can throw it in if I can get out my neighborhood. I did do my driving lessons yesterday at Ecstatic. Yeah, I did. My my friend Ace, he gave me, he sits next to me. It makes me feel better. I just need a passenger right now because I know how to drive it. I just don't feel comfortable. So he said I'm not road ready yet. But I did do the whole neighborhood. And I just told him a little while ago, I was like, dude, will you go with me tomorrow I'm going to try to drive to the rink, my children's rink, so I can go see them play hockey. And he was just like, and I'm like, no, for real. And he's like, I'm like, it's not that far. And he's like, I said, okay, well, we'll start with the neighborhood again. So, yeah. So it's an older car. It's not like it's very smooth shifting, and it is, but it isn't. It's really loud too. It's really loud, and I guess it's because the air conditioner or something. So, but yeah, so I don't need to go anywhere right now because I'm broker than hell. So yeah, I don't really want to drive around the neighborhood yet. Even though I have 2 times. So yeah, it's gonna be a slow go for me in that damn car. I gotta get a lot of confidence. I did take it out on the normal road and into a parking lot. And I was good, but I'm focused on operating and not paying attention to other cars and signals and shit like that. So it's kind of scary. So I agree. That's why I didn't want it, because like that's a lot to learn in all the hills. Like I live in like, it's just nonstop, which is fine. It's just like, yeah, I'm just learning it all, I think I'll be fine after a while. So that's my story. That's how it went. You want to come and chat at Ecstatic, or anybody? Anybody want to come and chat with me? Or you want me to show you guys some videos? I don't know if I have any videos lined up. Let me see. I do have your channel in front of me though, so let me drop to everybody watching here. You can go subscribe to Michelle, the Skies Above. That's over here on my channel often. This is her new channel, Addict's Attic, and this is where she's gonna start doing live streams, and people like come on your panel and her panel and talk about everything. Addiction problems, things you're going through, things of that nature. I've been watching Lifeboat. I've been popping in Lifeboat because they've been doing that now. Having somebody on the panel talk about their experiences, or I don't know, therapist. I think that was on there the other day. I don't know if you call her therapist, counselor, maybe. So yeah, there's her channel. Oh, I didn't put your name. I'm sorry. I put the channel twice in there, and then I didn't put it didn't copy. Sorry, I didn't copy correctly. So there, guys. A counselor. Thank you. Yes. She was a counselor. There you go. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know the right lingo. Correct a grammar language there, really. What the heck? Sorry, I'm closing out. I have like 150 windows open. Sure do. And that's just how I roll. So, yeah, because I'm working on a lot always. And I have a lot always in front of me for a lot of reasons, because I pop back and forth, just like I had your window open already. So I could just go to it and copy it and drop it. See, that's why I have 150 windows open, because I have a lot of things that I need all the time. It's a good reminder for the brain. For me personally, I'm a multitasker. All right, so, looking at something. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you guys watch Mike Morales, Above Ground World News, but I have since I've started it on YouTube. So I haven't watched him lately, but I do. I pop in it here and there. But I popped in the other day, and this one was a great one. So I'm going to play about 5 minutes of it, because it was really, it's everything he touched on in the first 5 minutes is like, wow. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and I'll drop the link. I don't know where there's a sound. Oh, okay. Hold on. You guys are not even seeing it. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. Ah.
All right, guys, welcome in, welcome back, man. It's the New World Order, man. Being invaded by these little bugs right now. You can't even turn a light on outside. Tried to let the dog out a minute ago, and I got swamped in the face by all these billions of bugs. Regardless of the aerosols being deployed. Here, let's get in the main screen. Welcome in, everybody. We got a tropical storm in the Atlantic. It's a miracle. We got all kinds of stuff going on, man. We got giant earthquakes going on everywhere. We got solar activity that we've really never seen. At least I haven't.
And of course, they haven't pulled the alien invasion card out, but it looks like they're getting ready to. I know everybody's getting the cornholio. Best thing to do is drink mullein leaf tea. Do a bunch of vitamin C, turmeric. If you got the other stuff that I probably can't even say on here, they'll instantly shut the stream down. Yeah, I had it. I had something. I don't know what it was. For about 3 weeks. I'm still battling the fatigue kind of off and on. It kind of goes away, then it comes back. My wife, she's not feeling good again. We haven't been nowhere, so it's got to be raining down. We got all the fire smoke going across the United States and other countries. Anyway, let's hit some articles. We got all kinds of crazy articles to get in. So they got a new plan, which is really not a new plan because they've been heating the poles. Now I guess it's time to refreeze them. New plan suggests refreezing Earth's poles by spraying chemicals with huge military jets. We've been watching this for decades. Any intentional turning of the global thermostat would be of a common entrance to all humanity. Yeah, we've been sounding the alarm for around a decade now. A group of scientists propose unleashing huge amounts of microscopic aerosol chemicals from 125 massive military jets over the Earth's north and south poles in a desperate bid to refreeze the melting ice cap, Sky News reports. A plan that's already proving highly controversial among experts. This is the exact scenario of the Snowpiercer, the movie. And I keep saying, they keep talking global warming. Think the opposite. They're going to freeze us. They're going to make the power where you can't afford it, and then they're going to bring in the deep freeze. They're going to bring in the day after tomorrow. To make a sizable dent in the accelerating decline in ice shelves, we've had to fly roughly 175,000 flights of high-flying spy planes and drones every single year, according to a recent study led by Wake Smith. Those jets would themselves release copious amounts of carbon dioxide high up into the atmosphere. It's worth noting, but despite the harmful emissions, Smith claims it'd still be worthwhile. So exactly what they're saying they're trying to battle, they're getting ready to do on purpose, and they've been doing it for decades. According to the plan, microscopic sulfur dioxide particles, that's the stuff you smell from a burnt match, would be released from 125 air-to-air refueling tankers flying around 43,000 feet over the planet's poles. These particles would block some sunlight from the surface below, shielding the polar regions from the sun's heat. According to Smith's study, just over 13 tons of particles released at just the right times of the year could cool the polar regions by 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you realize what that would do? It would be geostorm. Now, they're already doing this. If you just go look, they're always talking about how cars are putting off too much CO2. And they never talk about the main culprit, which is this shipping industry. Let's go look at the very particles that they're talking about, the sulfur dioxide particles.
Bunker fuel.
You can see all these straight lines. I talk about this all the time, almost every show. Here, let me put it on the nitrogen levels, and you can really see them. They really stand out. If the map will load. Now you can see all the shipping lanes, all these straight lines coming from like South Africa up to Dakar, from the Leeward Islands over to the West Coast, from Hawaii over to the West, or to the East Coast, and Hawaii to the West Coast, and up to the Aleutian Island chains, Japan, all the way down to Australia. All these straight lines, man. This is sulfur. This is the sulfur dioxide. These are all surface concentration. This is actually part of the weather program. This is the very same stuff they want to deploy over the poles. Look, it's clean up there. The air is clean. If you want clean air, you got to go up to the poles. It's, you know, we can look at the map and see, you know, where the sun is and all that. I know it's wintertime in Australia, so it should be darker. We'd have to look and kind of see what the, oh man, where'd I go here? I'm like not on what I was on. But right here, just one of these ships puts off 1 million cars worth of emissions. So, you know, 14 ships is more emissions than every car on the planet. How come they're not making these things sailboats? Right here. Here's what's poisoning everybody. Let's go to Wikipedia and look up fuel oil. You want the truth? Here's the truth. Everything they're talking about is a lie. Fuel oil is any of the various fractions obtained from desalination of petroleum crude oil. Fuel oils include heavy oil, marine fuel, bunker fuel. It didn't used to say bunker fuel. They finally put that on there, whoever did. Furnace oil, gas oil, diesel fuel. This is like the leftovers of refining clean gas. But what they don't tell you about is the health impacts. Because of the low quality of the bunker fuel when burned, it's especially harmful to the health of humans, you know, us, causing serious illness and deaths. The shipping industry air pollution was estimated to cause around 400,000 premature deaths each year from lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, as well as 14 million childhood asthma cases each year. So there you go. That's the same amount of people that allegedly died from the cornholio each year. Same amount. Funny how the numbers equal out. And people wonder why people that don't smoke are getting cancer. Well, here you go. The truth that they hide. So one chip equals 1 million cars. But yet they want you to go electrical, which electrical's got to be charged. It's got to be run on gas. But right here, here's the real culprit. You don't see them shutting down the shipping industry or the pollution coming off this. I mean, this shows right here who's polluting the most. A lot of this stuff is fires that are on the ground, but you can see China, India. Put this on like the carbon monoxide, this carbon dioxide. The planet's actually looking pretty clean as far as that. And we put it on the carbon monoxide. Now we can see where the fires are over here in the West Coast. We got some pretty good pollution always up around the upper East Coast. Some of these are all fires. Most of these are fires. Now let's go look at the main culprits. Look at China and India. Usually they're in the black. So parts of China, you're looking at 1,366 parts per billion volume. And that's without fires. We can go see if that's a fire. Let's go see if that's a fire. Nope. They got a few small fires burning. Not even putting off smoke hardly. Now I don't have my stuff in order, so I keep losing where I was at. Well, anyway, we're seeing the Snowpiercer. We know they've already been modifying the weather for decades, over 100 years. I think they were doing electromagnetic rainmaking around 1903. They've been shooting explosive up at the sky since the late 1890s, trying to modify the weather. So here's just, they're finally coming out. An ancient tree contains record of Earth's magnetic field reversal in its rings. Construction workers have accidentally dug up a 40,000-year-old tree that will give scientists insight into what happened when Earth's magnetic poles flip. They say every 200,000 to 300,000 years, Earth's magnetic north and south poles swap places. An event that opens the planet up to solar radiation and coincides with more extinction events were long overdue. The last pole reversal occurring around 780,000 years ago. And the North Pole is racing 30 miles per year toward Russia, signaling the beginning of a total pole reversal. All we do is look at geology. You want to know the truth about the planet, look at the geology. The global warming's happened before the Industrial Revolution. It's froze back over. It's been flooded. Everything on TV is propaganda and lies. This is the battle between good and evil. When the evil takes over, it's got to be cleaned up. Now, as doing astrophotography, you have to know a lot about the North Pole. I mean, your telescope has to be aligned to track stuff if you live in the Northern Hemisphere. You use Polaris to align your telescope, but it's not actually dead center. It's about 3 degrees, about the width of a moon and a half or a moon and a quarter is how far it is off now. And Polaris wasn't always the North Pole. Here's a long exposure I did. This was a 6-hour exposure in this super bright line. The super bright, that's Polaris. And here's where true magnetic north is. There's not even a star there. In fact, I've done several of these photos. I think I did some in September, which I don't see them in my folder here. Maybe it's August. Well, here was one I did in August. This is Polaris right here. And then there's a center, no stars are in there. And then if you live in the Southern Hemisphere, you got to go by the Southern Cross. When we look at the moon here in the United States or anywhere north of the equator, to us, the moon looks right side up. But if you're down in Australia, it looks upside down. That's because we have 2 hemispheres. Can't deny that. Let me zoom in on this a little bit, man. It's like really small. Smoke from the mosquito fire begins creating unhealthy to hazardous conditions in Northern California. No kidding. And it's actually grew, man. The firefighters had to retreat. They lost ground because of the winds. You got all these space mirrors going up. These space mirrors are just like a magnifying glass. If you remember when you were a kid, you took your magnifying glass, try to catch a lease on fire, burn a cockroach or something. That's what the space mirrors are doing. Kind of hard to stop what's up in the sky that you can't reach. We also have new wildfires hit southwestern France amid 39 Celsius heat wave. You know, we've already exposed the temperatures are normal. They're normal here. We showed how they did their color maps and their temperature maps from like 1992, and then they had the map of today, and they've changed the color codes and make it look like hell or something. And it was even hotter back in the 90s. We got rain, mudslides prompt Southern California evacuations. Washing away the evidence. Fears of more flooding as Pakistan death toll rises to 1,400.
So you guys know the rest. Planet X is shaking the planet, the magnetism, floods, the fires, plasma, all the above. So, you know, why we should be stockpiling, building micro communities, getting our shit together. So, yeah. Well, I don't know how much that's going to happen. It's a little late for all that. It's really almost too late. So yeah, that's cool, guys. So that's Above Ground World News. Mike Morales, check him out. He does a great. I don't know if he's every night, but quite a bit of the week he's on. And like I said, great channel. He covers it all. Quite a bit. So it's heavy packed report on the earth and things of that nature. So, okay. So nobody wants to chat or what? What's going on, guys? I gotta go find another video, I guess. Entertain you guys till somebody feels like in a chatty mood, I guess. If not, you don't want to be in a chatty mood. That's cool. Is Snaps live or what's going on here? I want to check out and wonder when Snaps is going live. Hold on. He uploaded a video. I thought he was gonna be going live. My bad. I did see that video though. I thought. Anyways, I just like it. I like the transparency that we're seeing, somewhat. I think it's all a facade. It still will be. So you know, that's that. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Okay. I am in a. I don't know. I'm in an interesting mood. Kind of in a good mood. For some reason. How about you guys? Are you in a good mood? You stay out of the hive mind today or what? I was really lazy. I tired today. I hit it hard early in the morning and then had to take a nap in the middle of the day. And then it got really hot here and then I took a walk, cleaned some of my house, and I'm back here on the interwebs. So yeah. How about those apples? So I'm looking for a video that I haven't showed you guys already. See, yeah. You gotta be careful what videos I share. Oh, no. Okay. Did we... I don't know if I share this one. Hold on a minute. Let me just cruise through it. Daisy, no, we did. I just took her a
Finds
walk.
worthy and others go into the shredder.
Is this one, did I share this one yet with you? No, I didn't. Okay, well, let's just check it out. We'll go to 2121. That's all right. I left off. All right. Well, this is Jeff Snyder. He talks about plasma and the trees, and he shows you the evidence of the plasma coming in from the old Planet X system, binary star. All right. I don't know what she's doing, but I got to go deal with her. So I'm going to play his video, Jeff Snyder, too. Check it out.
Guys, now up to Quebec. This is a sunrise that was sent in by Maxim from about 2.5 weeks ago, and you're going to see what looks like something parked next to the sun. And you can see that his camera is moving around and looking at the sunrise from Quebec, looking out over the Atlantic Ocean. This is kind of an unusual video as the camera is moving, and we've all seen lens glare and lens flare. In fact, I want to show you one right now from the video that I just took today, just a few minutes ago, of the sky out here in Arizona. See the little orb moving around? That's from the sun glare on my camera. That's the orb moving around. That orb would be stationary if my camera was stationary. And that's just one example of many types of sun glare that we see when we video the direct sunlight. This one here, though, is a little bit unique as it's not moving. It's remaining stationary at around the 8 o'clock position of the sun as it's rising, visible from Quebec. And this video was taken on August 21st of 2022. Here I've taken a couple of segments that were very still, and I did some enhancement work, and you can see it looks like something next to the sun. I can't imagine, though, this being present in the sky at sunrise and nobody else seeing it. So if anybody else happened to notice this, even if it was just temporarily, leave a comment down below in the comment section. If that's a lens glare, it's a very unique lens glare. It's not one you see every day. Like I said, the video that I just took of the sun, you don't see anything over here at the 8 o'clock position, but you do see a green orb in the video, and that's usually in every single video. You don't normally see something like that. And we're going from Quebec down here to Americus, Georgia. Video footage sent in by Keisha from just the other day of something unusual that appears to be stationary next to the sun. Notice the greenish blue orb. Kind of looks like the greenish blue orb in my video, right? The only exception is in her video, her camera is moving around as well. And you can see her camera moving around, but the orb is not moving, which is quite unusual in every video that he just brought up a good point. Why is the lens flare in all of our videos a greenish blue when it's supposed to be a reflection of the light source, which is whitish yellow? Maybe the lens glare we're getting is actually a reflection of something we can't see with our naked eye or with the camera lens most of the time, except for now, where you can see what appears to be the black sun, something emitting black light, aka ultraviolet. That's why it's a purplish blue. And this is what Angry Catfish says in his video that I covered recently, where he says that we have 3 suns up there. One of them is a blue sun or black sun emitting blue light or violet, ultraviolet light, which is also UV. This is a topic that I covered a mere 13 days ago. And in these 2 videos, in these thumbnails, you can see the black sun on this guy's shirt. You can see a purplish blue orb on this Mr. MBB333 thumbnail. And where that image comes from is his outro, where he strings a bunch of pictures together on the way out of every video. That is one of the images that he's thrown into his outro. This purple orb sticking out of the clouds right there looks very similar to what Keisha caught next to the sun in Georgia. This image on his shirt right here is the image of the black sun, the same image we've seen on the armband of the Azov Battalion. The only reason we know of the name of the Azov Battalion or the armband patch that they wear is because of that war in Ukraine that seems to be a big farce, like straight out of Bigfoot land. These guys were supposedly pulled out of a U-Haul on their way to a pride parade in Idaho, in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which was also a big farce and a fake orchestrated, coordinated theatrical show, just like the war in Ukraine, because these guys did not have their backpacks removed by the police nor their face masks, because they were all undercover FBI agents, glow sticks they call them. So the whole thing was a farce, and you can tell by the behavior of the police that did not take their backpacks off or their face masks. You would want to identify these criminals immediately in case one of them runs off and gets away. And they could have anything in those backpacks like, explosive devices. So the fact that they would not take off their face masks and their backpacks and instead just put little plastic zip ties on their wrists shows there was nothing real about this incident. The fact that he was wearing this shirt that shows the black sun and says on it Bigfoot Land is also no accident. This black sun has arrived. Remember these images that you've seen, and I'm going to string this together with some other stuff. So there's a still shot of the blue sun or black sun or ultraviolet sun that Keisha took from Georgia. In one of these videos that I made 13 days ago titled Then the Morning Comes, When the Sun Comes Up, We Are Always Out of Luck. Those are both references to music. Then the Morning Comes is by Smash Mouth. And When the Sun Comes Up, We Are Always Out of Luck is a song by Goblins from Mars called Cold Blooded Love. And this morning that they're talking about, this sunrise that they're talking about, is the black sun. But in that video, I included these links to my previous videos titled Eyes to See in the UV Blacklight Spectrum of the Age of Aquarius and Optogenetics and the UV Blacklight Spectrum of the Age of Aquarius, along with Eyes to See more frames per second. Optogenetics is a reference to where this rat was turned into a killer by shining blue light onto its brain and changing the genetic makeup through the optic nerve. Optogenetics. Those links are in the description of that video of Optogenetics. There are the links to the experiment where they put the blue light on the mouse's brain and turned it into an instant hostile aggressive killer. And they show you when they turn the light on, suddenly the rat attacks. They turn the light off, the rat goes back to normal. I'm going to show you some more of these songs that reference this sunrise, this sun coming up. When the sun comes up, we're always out of luck, and it's all referencing this black sun. I've just got to go through this stuff in no particular order. It happens to be the order in which I've texted it to myself. What we're going to see just right now is a video over a year old. It says 1 year ago, which means it was posted between 1 and 2 years ago. It has 56 views on a channel with 106 subscribers. Not big enough to be psychological operations and have any effect on the people. Plus, I've seen this plasma coming from the clouds, from the sun, in a previous video produced by Donnie of Daytona before he turned into what he is now.
Yeah, this is interesting, man.
See the little lightning bolt coming around, coming out, dancing in the sky, touching the ground? Donnie of Daytona, before he did his changing of his act, showed a video with 6 or 8 or 10 or 20 of these lightning bolt looking things dancing around in the sky, coming from the sun, connecting with the ground. That's probably what affects you when you feel something drain your energy, or even sun sickness. Link will be in the description for the original. Someone asked me if I think this is real. Yes, I do, because I've seen it before when Donnie Daytona captured something very similar, identical. Except his wasn't a single lightning bolt looking thing, filament. It was multiple. I'm not sure how well you're able to see anything in here, but it says highly trailed clouds. celestial objects in the sky. So we're just going to watch this one more time. You can see that it's not being replayed on a loop, the same 1 second over and over and over, because of the cars that are traveling on the road. You can track any one of those cars and see that this is one long stream, continuous video, not a second that's replayed over and over. I've seen this before. This is real. Okay, this guy that we're about to watch, Florida Maquis, him and his wife are ex-Intel agents, and you never become an ex-Intel agent. The title of this video is that the golden orb sun now rising in the west fulfills a prophecy. He goes over a prophecy from Islam and then goes to Revelations 22 that matches the same thing pretty much, where the sun will rise in the west and set in the east. I just spoke of this in a recent video that I titled, Hyena is the apex predator in Babylon. So we're going to go over this, and then I'm going to recap something I said recently, and we're going to move on with some more sun, the fifth sun that's rising.
I'm sure by now the vast majority of my audience is quite well aware of the news that has been circulating the globe this afternoon about the passing of Queen Elizabeth after 70 years on the British throne. Prior to her, Queen Victoria had served 63 years, and very strangely, it was 9 September of 2015 when Queen Elizabeth passed Queen Victoria to become the longest serving monarch, I actually believe, in European history. Now, there's also something very prophetic about this date as well. The son of Queen Elizabeth, the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, is now technically the King of England, but his coronation will not take place until sometime later this year. Now, there's a very strange name that has been given to the plans to coronate King Charles. He has a wife, Camilla, and the name of the operation is called Golden Orb. The name of the plans, the operation to coronate King Charles, is called Operation Golden Orb. Codename given by officials for Charles' top secret coronation plans is revealed accidentally. You ready for this? Accidentally revealed after Whitehall blunder. When did this happen? When did this occur? This accidental blunder where they forgot to redact the golden orb off of a document. This article is 10 September 2016. It actually happened on 9 September 2016. 6 years ago to the day. 6 years ago to the day, they revealed Operation Golden Orb to the date of the passing of the Queen. Now tell me, do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think that's a strange coincidence? It was 9 September 1776 when the United States of America was officially given its name, changed from the United Colonies. And you can look that up too. 9 September has a great deal of significance, but I haven't even revealed the biggest one yet. You see, this is the globus cruciger, the orb and the cross, the orb surmounted by a cross, Christian symbol of authority since the Middle Ages, used on coins, iconography, scepter, royal regalia. I'm sure many of you have seen different leaders, Queen Elizabeth herself, holding this orb with a cross on top of it. Now, what does this all mean? In the Bible and in Islam, they both agree on this, by the way. They say there is a time coming when salvation will be no more, meaning after a certain point in the future, you will not even have access to grace, access to baptism, access to forgiveness. Pardon me. The sun rising from the west prophecy in Islam states, Allah's messenger said, the hour will not be established till the sun rises from the west. And when it rises from the west and the people see it, they all will believe. And that is the time when no good will it do to a soul to believe then. Now you can read Revelation 22, basically reiterates this. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. He which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. At some point, there's going to be a cutoff.
Did you really like?
At some point, there's going to be a cutoff. When the sun rises from the west, the golden orb, England and America has been referred to in prophecy as the West. We are known as the West. The sun rising, the golden orb rising from the west, the operation to coronate King Charles. The clock is ticking. This is truly what I believe the prophecy meant. Many have said, oh, it's a pole flip, it's a pole change, the entire orientation of the planet is going to change. And that's why, even though we're going to continue going around the sun in the same direction, the entire orientation of the planet is going to flip. And that's why the sun will rise in the west, even though we would have to change our spin. And I truly believe it was something more ominous than that. Golden orb.
How could it be more ominous than that? And as above, so below. We know that these royalty have their ceremonies and rituals reflecting what's happening in the heavens above. So it could be both and, not either or. And I think this guy, as an intel agent, knows that there is truth to that idea of a pole reversal. There is no doubt we are in the mid-swing. So now just remember those things about what he just said about the sun rising in the west and setting in the east.
Summer comes through the view out the bay window here. It's a pretty nice view. That's Karma Chameleons coming on the, you hear it? Karma, 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 karma chameleons. They come and go. Loving would be easy if your life was like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Got this place to myself now, which is better that way. Karma chameleons. Like reptilians, they come and go, and they separate the consciousness farm based on your consciousness. They come, and then they're gone. They come and go. Karma, retribution for your behavior in this world is a real thing. And the karma chameleons, they come and go. We're getting ready to go. Like it said in the song, stop the world and melt with you. I made a pilgrimage to save this human race. By the way, stop the world. There's a movie called The Day the World Stood Still. And people probably assume that's just talking about humans. The day that humans came to a dead stop, stopped them dead in their tracks because aliens arrived. Or it could also simultaneously be referring to the pole shift. When there's the long day on one side of the world and the long night on the other side of the world, as we can see in these texts, these ancient texts where like the sun stopped for a day and then went back the other way. The day the sun rose twice, once in the east and then once in the west. And it stops and starts spinning the other way. And the sky turns from blue to red. The day the earth stood still might not just be referring to the people of the earth being stopped dead in their tracks and standing still. This fly is swarming me like a biobot transceiver. But it might actually be referring to the pole shift, the pole reversal. A double entendre. The day the earth stood still is also the day the aliens arrived. The day the karma chameleons came and went. Call them Anunnaki, call them Elohim, call them whatever you want.
In the video we're about to watch, they call them Watchers when Lamech, the father of Noah, thought that his wife was impregnated by the Watchers, or the Elohim, the Anunnaki, call them whatever you want. And Noah was then born. The other point I was making is that movie is actually titled The Day the Earth Stood Still, and it's when aliens arrived. Well, this pole reversal is like a cosmic egg timer, and it tells you when the oven is done cooking your culture of consciousness, and they're about to get wiped out, so you better show up to harvest whatever fruits from that tree that you want before we till and put it all back into the soil in order to grow a new crop. So it would make sense that the same time that the day the earth stood still physically in that pole reversal is also the day the earth stood still because everyone saw that the aliens arrived to harvest the crop. The holy harvest is on, like in the music, like in the song Salisbury Hill, the music video that depicts the holy harvest and humans as heads of lettuce. And some are the delectable fruits that God finds worthy, and others go into the shredder. This video is by Suspicious Observer, put out a day or two ago, called Super Flares, Earth Turning Over, and more.
Good evening, folks. Today we're going to answer a couple of your questions submitted through our contact form and go over some key videos you can watch that will answer several others. All links to reference videos are found below in the description box. Let's begin. It seems that our previous coverage has eliminated most questions about the solar micronova, but we recently got a great one about the sun's super flares. The question was this: if the half and quarter harmonics of the 12,000-year micronova cycle are super flares that happen every 6,000 and 3,000 years respectively, isn't it possible that some of those are not aimed at Earth? And yes, I would say that is almost...
James True talks about this 6,000-year cycle when he's talking about how they, the Watchers, know that they've got 6,000 years, and if you make it through the 6,000-year mark, you're probably going to get wiped out at the 12,000-year mark. James refers to this same cycle in his references and his presentation that we're about to go over part of.
Certainly the case. The varying severity of those cyclical events could easily be tied to how in the crosshairs Earth actually is for those super flares, except we know that no cycle is skipped, and this is where the solar energetic protons enter the equation. Even if the eruption is not aimed at Earth, we've seen big flares just in the last couple decades impact the entire solar system with high-energy proton bombardment. It happened in 2017, 2005, 2003, and several times before. Remember, the 6,000-year Heinrich event is about polar heating and rapid ice loss, and the high-energy protons specifically target our polar...
Rapid ice loss, which may be why they are all now headed to Antarctica to mine it for oil and other such resources. Keep that in mind. Rapid ice loss.
Region due to the interplanetary magnetic field connection. So if the super flare is directly aimed at us, yeah, it's a worse event for sure. But there's virtually no escape from a polar bombardment during a solar super flare. Next, professional geologists never cease to amaze me with their ignorance. Someone asked one about the geomagnetic changes on Earth and the Earth tilt. The response was that it happens every 200,000 years and that there's no evidence of the Earth tilt. First, if any professional geologist isn't aware of the shorter geomagnetic cycle, may I recommend they look up these excursion events.
He says there is no geological evidence that supports a 90-degree shift in Earth's crust, but I've been pointing out the 90-degree rotation of the moon that happens every night as it goes over. Not just that it turned 90 degrees and now it's 90 degrees off of where it always used to be. It's 90 degrees off from the time that it rose by the time that it sets. Likewise with the three kings of Orion's belt, they turn 90 degrees between the time that they rise on the eastern horizon and the time that they set on the western horizon. Like the earth is wobbling to and fro like a drunkard doing a 45-degree tilt back and forth every night. That way, by the time they rise again the next night, they're vertical. And then as they go overhead, they turn horizontal and set on the opposite horizon, 90 degrees off of where they rose. Just saying.
No evidence of the Earth tilt. First, if any professional geologist isn't aware of the shorter geomagnetic cycle, may I recommend they look up these excursion events and rapid field reductions and the associated biosphere devastation that comes with them. All of these happened in the last 60,000 years, and we're having another one right now. Every 200,000 years, they say. Professional geologist indeed. Now, as for the Earth tilt, turning over, it was 2021 between 4 videos that we not only went over the evidence across the world for the Earth shifting its orientation, but we described several potential mechanisms of action, some of which may end up working together. All 4 of these videos are linked below in the description box, and to fully grasp the mechanisms and all that evidence that supposedly doesn't exist, I'd watch all 4. Of course, almost all of that evidence made it into the 90-minute documentary on the disaster, something at least half of all the question askers have not watched. So let me quickly run down a couple of other things. Still getting questions on how we know the galactic current.
Did you notice the title of that? The cycle is over. The cycle is over.
Down a couple of other things. Still getting questions on how we know the galactic current sheet is real. Please watch this video, linked below, and you will know it is real, not just hear me say it. Even though we went over why the exact timing is unpredictable in a video less than 2 weeks ago, still getting questions on that. Short answer is it's here, it's huge, and its effects are everywhere across the solar system. Still also getting questions from people who don't know how magnets work about the 40-degree nonsense and a couple months timeline that a repeat offender of...
I was guilty of rebroadcasting this 40-degree nonsense, whether or not it's nonsense. And so I can acknowledge if I was wrong, where I was wrong. And it was an 8-month warning when he put it out and showed that at the 40-degree point, the magnet does a flip. And he showed this using a compass and a magnet.
Fraud is pushing on another YouTube channel. This video is in the disaster playlist, again, also listed below this video. Lastly, folks, I have not yet received one single climate question that is not answered in our playlist or our books. It begins with a 7-part series on how solar climate forcing works, a good introduction. Immediately after that is the full hour-long movie tying it all together, followed by the story of how they tried to take us offline for our climate position and failed, and some key studies that blew the door off the party, and excellent summaries that quickly hit the most important topics in the field. To be honest, the entire playlist is well worth your time and contains answers to every single one of the more than 100 climate-related questions submitted through our form. What form, you ask? Where do you ask questions? That's at suspiciousobservers.org, but alas, most question askers haven't done their homework first. And as we've done with literally hundreds of the questions so far, if you are asking without doing the reading or watching our free playlists, our response is delete. Thousands of people here do the homework, and it's a matter of respect for their time and mine. Between the free video playlists in our books, we've spent hundreds to thousands of hours making it as easy as possible for you. Respect, diligence. We didn't get here overnight or by being lazy. I'll see you in the morning for the daily show. Be safe, everyone.
Regarding that rapid ice loss that Suspicious Observers just told us about, we're now going back to the previous video that we've already watched part of to get some ideas and information on that. Remember, this guy is also an intel agent.
To King Charles of England. And he also carries a symbol with him that we covered in our studies of Antarctica, and we might have to revisit that.
I have received videos of people asking what's up with Antarctica because there appears to be a bunch of job advertisements in regular job advertisement listing websites for forklift operators in Antarctica. People are wondering why. What's the deal? What's going on in Antarctica? Why is there suddenly a bunch of jobs available as forklift operators in Antarctica, where nobody is allowed to go, by the way? None of you are allowed to go to Antarctica. In 1957, the IGY, International Geophysical Year, all the countries got together and said, we all agree not to let our people go to Antarctica. What's down there has been the apple of our eye as truthers for a long time. But apparently something's going down with Antarctica, and it may be that rapid ice loss, and it may be that they're going down there to break the financial stranglehold that the West has over the world, as he's about to describe.
And the relationship to that very mysterious continent. One of the things that I've been noticing about Washington, D.C., and its designs on clinging to power. Anyone they disagree with, anyone Washington disagrees with, gets maximum pressure financially. Whether it was Venezuela, whether it's Iran, whether it's the Russians with the deal with Ukraine, it's always the maximum pressure campaign. Well, what would happen if any of those countries decided, you know what, we're going to start mining Antarctica? We're going to go down there and we're going to start getting rid of the ice, and we're going to start digging for whatever, minerals and gold and everything else. What would happen? Well, the world would combine together to go. I thought we already had maximum pressure. How can you go above maximum pressure? Are you going to go down to Antarctica and going to start sinking things? You're going to go down here if they start pumping oil, if they start pulling ships full of all sorts of stuff out of here? Going to go sink them with submarines? Is that what you're going to go do? Is that going to be the way to protect the environment? Of course not. Of course not. It's the last unexplored great wilderness of the planet. And ironically, it was British explorers not so very long ago that came down here and said, whoever controls this will control the world. Don't be surprised if you don't see the English revisit what they've done historically, which is colonize and imperialize. And they'll start right down here. Mark my words, this is a momentous, momentous day in history.
So now we're going to watch a 2 or 3 minute segment from a recent episode by James True called The Lamb of God, where it's referencing Noah, and that's who you can see in the background on the screen over here is Noah, or a depiction thereof. Remember, James True is also featured in my videos titled Eyes to See in the UV Blacklight Spectrum of the Age of Aquarius and Optogenetics, Eyes to See, where he said whether or not you like it, you're being upgraded from 780p to 1080p, referencing a resolution that you have, an ability to see in greater clarity and detail, and that there would be a new light in our atmosphere based on black. He even went over the technicals of it, how the white light spectrum, RGB, red, green, blue, is all of these colors add up to white, and that the black light spectrum is deductive, where you subtract from black. And that is where we come up with the color magenta and other such colors. He goes over very technical stuff to show that there is substance behind the concepts that he's giving you here. So, watch my other videos titled Eyes to See in the UV Blacklight Spectrum of the Age of Aquarius. It also shows where J-Dreamers goes over the movie They Live and shows you that there is an ultraviolet component to those glasses, where you put the glasses on and you can see the aliens. Guess what? This black light, this black sun that's rising, when the sun comes up, we are always out of luck. There's no room for us here. It's cold-blooded love. Just like I kept saying all the way to Missouri and back, 8 months before Corona ever even started. that this is going to be like the end of the movie They Live, where they break the transmitter and everyone can see everyone for their true colors, like everyone's got the glasses on. And to remove the beam from your own eye is referencing a vertical slit pupil and imploring you not to commit genocide based on pupil shape. So here again, he gives you the technical information and then the implications of it with the greater understanding in the context.
Cancer. Researchers are still learning how melanin behaves when surrounded by the machinery that makes useful electronics work. But continued efforts from chemists, physicists, and materials scientists are likely to result in exciting new applications for this highly versatile molecule.
Oh, there's some credits there. Thank you, Mrs.org. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Kind of backs up everything we've been talking about. Oh my goodness, it's still playing. Kind of backs up everything that we've been talking about, that I've been talking about, that I've been telling you about what reality is, about what source reality is. Inside your inner ear, where no light ever shines, there are melanocytes secreting melanin. Why are they secreting melanin? Why are they secreting melanin? Because they are absorbing what the amygdala sent to it to hear. Remember, melanin absorbs or it puts out. Melanin is piezoelectric, isn't it? Isn't it? The video just told you that. Source information is absorbed inside the squid's ink of melanin. It's hidden from you because your amygdala said, if you show this to this dude sitting in the cockpit right now, he's gonna freak out. And he's probably gonna poop his pants. And this really gonna be embarrassing. And I don't think he's gonna recover. So let's not show him that. Let's just turn that down. And your body's like, no problem. No problem. I will secrete some melanin. I will just simply secrete melanin. And, there. I've squirted melanin out of my melanocytes. Now he cannot hear the breathing of God in his ear going, hey, you going to eat that? He doesn't hear it. And that you and I would have to have that because we would freeze. During the first son or the second son or the third son, when they made Adam and Eve, they didn't have melanocytes. No one had thought about it. And all these Adam and Eves were running around. And God's like, hey, I'm going to go say hi. And they're like, okay, cool. That'll be cool. I'm going to watch. And then they're watching. God comes down. It's like, hey, guys. And everyone just falls over and faints. They're freaked out. You just showed them your manifestation of God. They can't fucking handle that. So this melanin thing was created to do this. And this is why your friend is like, guys, I'm on my 4th booster. And there's no debate about the efficacy at all. Are you kidding? No, if you think there's a debate, you're just a stupid head who writes books that have the word apocalypse in the title. You must be stupid because you're tracking the great circle that every civilization that's ever been here before is written down. That's melanin. That guy's not stupid. That guy has more melanin than I do. He secreted more melanin, like, boop, 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 boop. Let's not talk about how government would run something like a Pied Piper, but for eugenics, which would literally bring around like a guillotine. It's like safe and effective. People would run out and go, oh, I want to try. The government said it's cool. And then they did it. And it's like, wow, it was totally safe. And it was effective. That dude's not here anymore. It's exactly what the government wanted. And it's safe and effective. And no one had to force anybody. Nobody. They're breeding out the melanites. They're breeding them out. They're finding the melaninites in the world and saying, you know what? You can't exist like this anymore. It's time for the 5th son. The yellow sun is white now. You're not going to like it here. So we're going to give you an exit to leave. And you get to be a hero as you leave. You get to be a hero. And everyone's going to wear a veil while you pass. But now's your chance. You got to do it now. Not everyone's going to wear a veil forever, right? You're going to only be able to have them wear a veil for a few years. So if you want to participate in this great ceremony, the Exodus Melananos, now it's time. And that's what I think is happening. Now, light is.
So what he just said is that the first time during the first, second, and third son, when Adams and Eves were running around and God said, hey, I'm going to go say hi. All right, cool. We're going to watch. They couldn't handle it. And so we're about to see God again. God's about to pop in and say hi. And those who would not be able to handle it are already being taken out because you're not going to like it here very much. You just can't handle this kind of stuff. So we're going to give you a chance to exit stage left before this all goes into a place where you're just not going to be able to cope and hang. That's what James just said. God is about to reappear and knows that most people cannot handle it. So through a process of self-selection, everyone who can't handle it, step right up. Come on over here this way. In a previous video, he made the analogy that it was like a mama bird trying to get the baby birds to fly the nest. And those who don't want to, there's a blinking red light back here. It's safe and effective. Just go right back over there. Those who don't want to fly the coop. So fly, fly, baby, let's fly. Don't you worry, because everybody will die. Go, go, go. You just, every day you go, go, baby, don't go. And don't you worry, we love you more than you know. So this was a epi-eugenics. He's going to talk about that here in a moment. Epigenetics combined with eugenics based on evolutionary psychology and evolutionary sociology that is implemented through a social engineering program. I know that's a mouthful. We'll break it down here in a minute. Here we're going to watch about a 2-minute segment from a video also recently produced by James True, titled The Ark of Baphomet. I suggest you watch both of them, this one and The Lamb of God. They go hand in hand. And remember what I said about me being the ambassador as depicted on the TV series Childhood's End, where after floating around in our skies for a few years and using an ambassador like myself as just an average blue-collar worker guy, like a truck driver, a carpenter, or whatever, to communicate with the general population, God comes off of the ships. They land and say, okay, we're going to come down and say hi. And everyone's like, oh, cool, cool. Yeah, we finally get to see him because he told them, you guys just need to show yourselves. Quit trying to communicate through me and beating around the bush and hiding behind the curtain. Everyone's suspecting the worst and just show yourselves to us already. This was all in the TV series in the book Childhood's End. They said, okay, we're going to come down and show ourselves to you. And when they step off of the ship, it looks exactly like what's depicted as the devil with the horns and the red skin and the tail. I don't think he was holding the pitchfork. But I said on my way to Missouri, join us, witches. Join this Antichrist. Because you're in the upside down world where what is good has been called bad, and what is bad has been called good. And those people that gave you your understanding of what the devil is and what the Antichrist is, they are the devil. They are the Antichrist. That is why they have depicted God in the inverse. You know you're in the upside down world where everything's been inverted. The great deception already happened. You need look no further than the pedophiles in the Catholic Church that we look the other way from and say, well, you know, just a few bad apples and a few bishops and archbishops in the archdiocese. But I'm sure the Pope himself had nothing to do with any of that. And he didn't know about any of it. The fact that you did not rip out that institution root and branch shows that you are already under a form of Stockholm syndrome, where you allow such an institution to carry on raping your children and pretend as if they're the good guys. Those are the same ones that gave you that book, that run that psychological operation on you, that got you to run it on your children, of Santa Claus, to harden your hearts, to make sure you never develop a relationship with the guy in the sky who knows when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake and just wants you to be good for goodness sake. Because when you grow up and you believe in those two Jesus figures, the Christ and the counterfeit version that we celebrate on the same day called Santa Claus. And then you get your heart broken because you find out Santa Claus isn't real and everyone in the world lied to you. Your heart becomes hardened and you make a resolve to never get hurt like that again. And you never make yourself vulnerable and open to a relationship with that invisible guy in the sky who knows when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake, because the first time you got fucked. So you're never going to let that happen. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm going to harden my heart and close myself off to any such relationships, because now I know the first time I got fooled, I won't get fooled again. But God makes all things into part of his plan. So that Christmas psychological operation that for so many generations prevented people from actually developing a relationship with the guy in the sky through that still small voice within, the Holy Spirit, because their heart had been hardened from a young child because they invested all their hopes and dreams into the first one that was fake. So they never invested in the other one. God's going to flip that right on its head, because it also showed you that the whole world lied to you. And when you became an adult, this is childhood's end for the second time. When you became an adult, when you found out that Santa Claus isn't real at about 9 years old, you got slammed into the adult world like you're one of us now. Now that you know Santa's not real, don't tell your little brothers and sisters. You're one of the adults now. You get to join us. And then you grew up and did the same psychological operation to your kids without even questioning what the fuck is that about. That is some insane shit that we all joined together right up to NORAD is tracking Santa on the Santa tracker. And you see these generals in military gear with all the regalia saying, yeah, wait, NORAD is tracking Santa. Got him over here on the radar. He's over here in North America, going to be swooping down that way. Your teachers, your parents, everyone joined in on this big lie to convince you of this Santa Claus character. And at about 9 years old, when you found out that wasn't real and that the whole world had lied to you, but you get to be part of the club now because now you know the truth, it hardened our hearts for generations to never develop a relationship with the guy in the sky. But here in this final act, it will have prepared us for a time when we have to, at childhood's end, once again, come to the realization that we've been lied to by the churches with their Bibles and all that indoctrination with all that dogma that they told us that was the exact opposite of the truth to get us to reject and rebel against God. Good thing we all had that conditioning, so we're ready to do it again, and we know what happened the first time, so we can expect it again and go through a second childhood's end where you come to an understanding that you've been lied to. Everyone lied to you about this, and you need to forget what you think you thought you knew about Santa Claus and about Jesus and accept reality as you're about to experience it.
And make a copy of it, it's dirtier. Then if you take a copy of that, it's dirtier. Then if you make a copy of that, it's dirtier. And you know that life itself is a romp through a genetic mutation that's either going to benefit your genes or hurt your genes based on your posture as you embrace vitriol. That's literally what's your RNA is doing that all the time. That your RNA is copying itself and using the trauma of the event or the joy of the event to fuck up your genes or make them stronger, right? That entire process is the copying of things.
That was just a small clip from this episode number 364, Ark of Baphomet. But James has referenced this before, how war is another one of those Pied Pipers for a genetic eugenics program to filter out people who would engage in that kind of behavior by killing them on the battlefield, or by fucking up their genetic line for generations to come, where the sons will inherit the sins of the father who went and engaged in that kind of behavior, and their genetics were fucked up for a few generations thereafter. That's what he meant by the vitriol that you experience, whether it traumatizes you or causes you joy. When God shows up, most people are going to be traumatized the fuck out of him. Other people are going to be joyous. And not only has my presentation given you an inoculation so that your heart will not fail you for fear, but when you see these dragons in the sky, you're going to know this is the God of Jeff who has come along and shown us that this God is based on function, not form. Principles, not personality. Ideals, not idols. So get rid of those idols, kill your heroes, and recognize that they have gotten you to focus on form over function, idols over ideals, and personalities over principles. And because Jesus is this, that, and the other, it's not going to be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby Jesus coming in on a cloud. The God I worship is one of ideals and principles, the substance over the style, the function over the form. And most people are indoctrinated with this idea that the form of the name of God has to have a J and then an E and then an S and then a U and then an S. They don't believe in a real God. And once God takes a real shape and form and definition, all these good Christians will tell you that's not the real God. No, that's some demon, evil devil, this, that, and the other, because they don't believe in a real God. They believe in an ethereal, nebulous, vaporous, incorporeal concept that once it starts to take shape and form, well, then that's not the real God, because the real God has no shape or form, because they don't believe in a real God. They have been duped, and then they duped you, just like parents got duped, and then they went on to perform the same ritual on their children to tell them all about Santa Claus, not knowing why, just doing what everyone else does. Same thing with all those good Christians. They got duped by whoever gave you that book is the same person who gave you that Santa psyop. And if you haven't figured out that that's some fucked up shit, that you need to break free from that mental slavery, I've been telling you for a while, we've been working on a jailbreak, and this plantation is about to get the perimeter breached. And there's angels on the sideline again, wondering when this tug of war will end. And those angels on the sideline are about to breach the perimeter of the compound. And when I say this is like a cult where you've been indoctrinated and mind controlled and brainwashed, like Jim Jones Island, all you have to do is not defend Jim, not defend all those preconceived ideas that the slave plantation master has indoctrinated you with. Free your mind and accept reality as it is being presented to you, not defending all your preconceived ideas that you got from a book that someone told someone that told someone else that told you. This is reality. This is childhood's end that you're about to see. And just like as a childhood, in your childhood, when you found out Santa wasn't real and the whole world lied to you, you're about to find out the whole world lied to you, and your preconceived ideas of what you thought were not real at all. They were there because someone did it, because someone did it to them, because someone did it to them, because someone did it to them. It's the abuse cycle. And we have been abused on this compound, in this slave plantation, through those operations, that annual psychological operation. That is a form of abuse. And the only reason people go on to do it to their children is the abuse cycle, where the abused becomes the abuser, where the victim becomes the perpetrator. And if you want to defend such an operation and such a system, go right the fuck ahead. But if you realize that you've been enslaved and you're about to be freed by those forces that are around the perimeter that have been giving you a long time now to adjust, as to not fracture your psyche, as to give you the ability to possibly cope with the reality as you're about to see it. Those forces do not want to kill you or enslave you or eat you or demonize you or whatever the fuck these good Christians are going to tell you, or they would not have gone to such great lengths to take such time in a long process of acclimation to get you gradually ready to receive this truth. They would have just popped in and said, boo, and all of your hearts would have failed you for fear. But they went to great lengths to prepare you for what you're about to experience by contacting someone like me who has the balls to speak the truth and not already indoctrinated with what I think I know. No one gets on board thinking they know something. This is about to go down. I am only speaking to those who already know without a doubt that I'm not your average Joe, that I'm not a fucking YouTuber creating YouTube content. I am more like a prophet who happens to be using this platform to leverage my message and get it out to some people. And this platform has an ability to get it to the right people who have the ability to receive it, who are able to make use of it. Unlike the pearls to swine of the general population who go on pretending as if none of this is happening when I show them that the fucking trees are burning from the inside all around them. This platform has the ability to get this to people knowing their selfish ledger, their psychological profile from all of the information in their whole lifetime before the internet was even made public and invented and distributed. All of your whole lifelong information is on your selfish ledger. And the people who received this are only the people who were able to make use of it. I'm no longer speaking to the average Joe trying to convince them or persuade them of shit. I am speaking to the people that are already convinced and persuaded and know this shit is more real than anything you've ever experienced in your life. Thus, the story I'm telling you that's about to become everyone's reality is more real than the false ideas they have about the world. Like I've said, you need to lose your grip on reality in order to be able to grasp what we're about to go through.
Oh, we're about to grasp what we're about to go through. How many of you think that we're going to grasp what we're going to go through? We're not going to know until we actually go through it. So how can we grasp it? We won't know until it happens. And I think a lot of people are just waiting for something that's not quite going to happen like everybody thinks. It's going to actually be more explosive than anybody thinks, most likely. Okay, why Santa Claus? Literally Claus. This one I played many times in the last so many years, but this is by a channel called Rock Uncle Productions. I love this video. It's so telling. And then I want to show you Optogenetics, another video clip, a short one. Okay, here we go. Oh. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, Satan Claus. Yeah. Rock Uncle Productions, guys, check them out. I dropped that link. All right, another one that I actually made a while ago on optogenetics, and they actually saved this one. And I'm not going to play the whole. It's 42 minutes long. So I just fast forward to just about the blue light, like Jeff Snyder was talking about, and James True, how it affects the brain. And they did a rat. It shows in this video that I made about the rats. So I don't know. Do you guys want to watch the whole video? It's on the Skynet. Just now targeted individuals. Let me see. 12 minutes. Let me see. It's too bad. This is like Demon Hunter. Yeah, I'll play a lot of it. Why not? If you guys want to chat, I'll drop that link, hit it, and we'll talk. If not, I'm going to play this video, and then I'll be out for the night. Welcome. It's Mystic Skywatcher. It's September 27th, 2020. Please subscribe to Demon Hunters. Here we go. Maybe this will help connect the dots for the ones that don't understand all my videos.
Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. Hope all is well. Hey, I just wanted to go ahead and touch on optogenetics. Okay, I'm gonna share a video here, kind of touching on this now, because I believe once again that they're using light frequencies to be able to access subject's pineal gland, and that the Sun Sim is actually an all-seeing eye apparatus, surveillance apparatus, as much as it is as a Sun Sim. And again, this is an esoteric photo showing you the Sun Sim up there, OLED sun, tapping into a subject's pineal gland with a reference of the peacock. And again, the peacock is found at the Vatican. Okay. And let alone found throughout different cultures. But that's what I believe they're doing. I believe they're looking to hijack the pineal gland through the remote, the targeted individual program. Okay. But they're using light frequencies to be able to do so. And here it says, how does optogenetics work? Currently, optogenetics experiments rely on extracting opsins, light-sensitive proteins, from plants, which can be introduced to mammals by methods including injection and infection via adenovirus. Once delivered into an organism, opsins can be expressed in eye, brain, or skin cells, allowing their light sensitivity to be remotely activated or silenced with time pulses of light in different color wavelengths across the light spectrum that can target multiple bodily systems and cause a variety of biological effects. So I think there's a direct connection with that. So it can target precisely. Okay, so if targeted precisely with enough or the appropriate light, it's thought that optogenetics can be used by manipulating neural circuits involved with pain, fear, reward, wakefulness, and social behaviors. And like I've said, my friend who's in Ireland, Liz Raffi, she's caught these lights coming down, and she believes she's a targeted individual potentially. So let's check this out, and you can see how a light source comes down as this jogger runs by. See that? One more time. Okay. And it looks like it's coming from an aerial, perhaps, but or even the Sun Sim, which again I believe is a surveillance apparatus. It's the all-seeing eye. Satan looking to be omnipresent, like Yahweh, inverting, polluting, twisting. This is another one. Look at the rain. The rain has got these light pulses in it that Liz had caught as well. So is this optogenetics? And is this what they're using to target individuals, eventually getting them plugged into the one hive mind? So, and when, especially when you got here Bill Gates with his transhumanism ad, one-eyed symbolism with the Borg, the black cube, the D wave, resistance is futile, you will be assimilated. Skynet atop the dome with his one-eyed symbolism, right? The Borg, the cube, microwave cube 666, become assimilated. The D wave 2000 Q. Is Q PSYOP? Is that the AI? Is that the quantum computer here? Bill Gates again, one-eyed symbolism. You got the X, the box is the cube, it's the pyramid. The black cube. Whose web will it be? It's going to be Satan's web. Is Skynet, the cloud, smart dust confinement dome that's all around us that they're looking to plug us into, the surveillance apparatus, master of the universe, Satan, having fallen like lightning. And this is Bill Gates with all his messianic brotherhood, the serpent seed, who just happened to wear the black cube on their heads, right? You know, the black cube, Saturn, Satan worship. The statues everywhere, the UN. Okay. So it's all connected. It's the eye in the sky. It's the eagle eye. It's their surveillance platform for their targeted individual program, getting everybody plugged into the one hive mind, AI, Satan consciousness. The 9/11, the two becoming the one, the enmity within looking to take over. The Alan Parsons Project, old and wise, eye in the sky. And again, Satan is raw. He's radium. He's radiating the planet with his EMF, wireless frequencies, and his Gwen towers, and his 5G tower network, all aimed at the transhumanism agenda. Okay. So I wanted to show you that. Now, you guys go ahead and watch this next video, which I think is going to pretty much blow you away. And two, I'll just show you this again. So in short, just for any newcomers, I'll just do this real quick. The opening limpets, they're cryptically telling you they're able to simulate the constellations, okay? They got a live augmented virtual reality up there. They're already claiming they're, have their China plans to launch its own artificial moon by 2020. Okay, a man-made meteor shower launched by satellite could open the 2020 Olympic Games. So you got Star Trek, which is stars on tracks. Okay, stars on tracks. So they've created a augmented virtual reality up there, capable of simulating anything that they want. Apollyon's cap the dome. Okay, so and we'll start the video here right after this. So, and again, you've got their Asgardia. They're even telling you this is their low Earth orbit satellite under the dome. They're even showing you the dome. It's a partnership of the UN. The Space Kingdom Asgardia has its own flag and anthem, is a fully fledged and independent nation and a future member of the United Nations. Okay. But meanwhile, this is their logo. It's an ICU processing unit, CPU processing unit, plugging folks into the one-eyed mind with the IRA, the 666, right in your face, with the sun simulator, with its Lord of the Rings. It's the Lord of the Rings. It's the Dyson sphere around the sun sim. That paper-thin veil caught here. You know? You can see all the diodes around it. And these diodes are what showed up in a time lapse feed here. So there's like a huge, massive Elysium style base around the sun, Dyson sphere going on. And it's the eye in the sky. It's the all-seeing eye. It's the Satan invert and twist and pollute and everything of Yahweh, having created his own smart dust canopy, artificial sky canopy dome within Yahweh's enclosed structure. So he's simulating everything up there now: the UFOs, the stars, the constellations, the moons, Planet X, everything. And at the same time, it's a surveillance apparatus. It's where the Borg's at, right here. The Borg. He's simulating everything up there. It's the cube. Saturn, Satan worship. Okay, so and then you've also got here on the magazine. It's May 1996. So you got your 666s there. So you got the Borg also with these light spectrums coming down, your optogenetics, your frequency light pulses, remotely controlling and targeting subjects below, plugging them into the one hive mind that we talked about. Okay, and then you also got the NASA patch, the Pan, the horn god. Okay, Palladium Stadium at night with Apollyon having, at the very top, the Phoenix with Atlas. And Atlas is their surveillance program network. They all see an eye. Okay. So again, you got Yahweh's enclosed structure in red, and then in blue, you've got Satan's artificial smart dust confinement dome simulating all the constellations. Satan set his kingdom up in the sides of the north being up, Polaris, the North Star, God's throne room, having inverted, twisted, polluting everything of Yahweh, looking to be omnipresence with his all-seeing eye surveillance apparatus, while simulating the moon, the sun, the meteorites, Planet X, and Yahweh's real sun, real moons outside this artificial smart dust canopy. And Satan's, just radiating the entire planet with its 5G towers. It's the Gwen towers. I got 300 copper spoke wheels underground aimed at altering it. God's natural earth frequency, looking to have humans become 2.0. Satan looking to set his kingdom up in the hearts of man, replacing Yahweh. Yahweh dwells in the hearts of man, not a machine. And Satan's looking to set his kingdom up in the hearts of man via the transhumanism agenda. Humans 2.0. All right, you guys enjoy this next video. It's very telling and very informative on optogenetics and what their plans are here. All right, you guys have a mighty blessed one. Stay armored up. May the Jesus loves you. And we'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.
Given the insanity that we are seeing in the general public these days about the willingness to throw away their rights,
whether it be the right to bear arms, the right of free speech,
the right to assembly, or the freedom to due process, it makes one wonder what the hell is going on.
how did people get like this?
How are people seemingly arguing against their self-interest and feeling no compunction about it?
I'm going to take you on a tour of what is really happening behind the curtains in the world, all of which are being portrayed as necessary actions for the greater good of humanity. In 2013, former President Barack Obama was announcing his administration's brain research through advancing innovative neurotechnologies. The study, describing a way to manipulate a lab animal's brain circuitry accurately enough to turn behaviors both on and off. The point of the remote control mouse is not to create an army of robo-rodents, but to perfect a technique that will control the behavior by activating and deactivating neurons. The technique used to control neurons is called DREADS, designer receptors exclusively activated by designer drugs. Because the receptor does not respond to other molecules, including natural ones in the brain, the only way to activate the neurons is via the human-made ones. DREADS allow scientists to manipulate neurons without implanting anything in the brain. Look at this. Current optogenetic experiments rely on extracting opsins, light-sensitive proteins, from plants which can be introduced to mammals by methods including injection and infection via adenovirus. What they do is they genetically engineer a receptor that can get into a person through a viral vector, and what that means is through an injection of the vaccine or through the contraction of an adenovirus which has been modified. You might think, oh well, I just won't get injected, and I won't go anywhere where I can get this adenovirus. Adenovirus. There's 52 of them, and they range from the common cold, fever, sore throat, pink eye. They're prevalent. So that's creepy, because if you look at what it says, DREADS allows scientists to manipulate neurons without implanting anything in the brain. It indeed makes one wonder, given what we see today in the general public. You do need to take the designer drug, though, to make this effective. Once delivered into an organism, opsins can be expressed in eye, brain, or skin cells, allowing their light sensitivity to be remotely activated or silenced with timed pulses of light in different color wavelengths across the light spectrum that can target multiple bodily systems and cause a variety of biological effects. If targeted precisely enough with the appropriate light, it's thought that optogenetics could be used by manipulating neural circuits involved with pain, fear, reward, wakefulness, and social behaviors.
There's this enormous mystery waiting to be unlocked. And the BRAIN Initiative will change that by giving scientists the tools they need to get a dynamic picture of the brain in action and better understand how we think and how we learn and how we remember. And that's part of what this BRAIN Initiative is about.
If scientists can turn on or off specific targeted groups of neurons at will, they place themselves in between the natural human experience and basically their keyboard. They place themselves between you and your natural human reactions to things. So, optogenetics looks like the way to go. But how do you get people to put wires in their heads? Well, you can't. But it turns out now you don't have to. Here we have the new development in optogenetics. Luminopsins, luminescent opsins, or LMOs, were developed to achieve combined chemo and optogenetic manipulation. Luminopsins allow manipulation of neuronal activity over a range of spatial and temporal scale in the same experimental animal. What they are saying here is not only can they turn on specific reactions, but they can also turn off those same reactions. A problem they were having with the other methods is they could only do one. They could either stimulate the receptor or suppress the receptor. With the combined chemo-optogenetic manipulation, they can do both. They're using luminopsins, so they don't need the wiring anymore. Basically, science can use these luminopsins to interfere with a person's free will. The other function of optogenetics is just a simple observation. They might want to know how you feel about seeing a particular image, how that image changes the next thing you do. Basically, the scientists can understand what exactly is going on in our bodies and our minds, but to do that, it can't be invasive. Well, what have you noticed proliferating on the market for the last 8 years? Microsoft Band. It'll record all the stuff going on in your body. Same with Google Fit or Apple Watch. This Muse head brain sensing headband is even scarier. There's also 23andMe, which collects your genetic data. Imagine if they had a combination of all these things. All of this is attached to your smartphone. So it's not so much the device, it's the smartphone monitoring that's the dangerous part. Because who's getting that data? And what are they doing with it? Look at what it says here. This is from 2016. Towards a psychophysics of interoceptive processes, the measurement of heartbeat detection. Over the past 50 years, research on interoception has grown exponentially from 17 citations of Interocept in 1965 to 8,440 in 2015, Web of Science. The early Russian work was summarized in Rosmarin's landmark article on the subject and demonstrated, inter alia, that interception participated fully in the intersensory processes of Pavlovian conditioning. They want to know all of our interoceptive data because it plays directly into Pavlovian conditioning. You can change anybody's behavior if you know how to manipulate those feelings inside them when they are experiencing something. You do that over and over and over, and you actually change their whole physiological responses to it. Have you ever wondered if we are going towards that future? A world that is entirely sending feedback regularly to some processor somewhere? Is there a prison around us of electronic biofeedback and manipulation? Let's say there will be a flu virus, all the common adenoviruses, and they had this modified dread receptor in there. We would never know, and it would be in there, in our body, just waiting to be activated by the designer drug or by light activation. Maybe it sounds paranoid, or maybe not. You've been served with the opportunity to decide what to believe.
The secrecy that surrounds this issue is so extraordinary that most presidents are not briefed on it. And if they're briefed in a way that is perfunctory and very, very limited and designed to control their actions. It's not the 1%, it's the 0.0000001% who would not benefit from this because they are the ones sitting atop the petrodollar system, the macroeconomic order. For the most part, presidents since Eisenhower have not had appropriate access control. Now, what I mean access control, this means not only access to the program, but control over them. And people need to make, at the very beginning, a very clear understanding between knowing and being able to do anything about it. So every single president has been interested in this. Famously, Jimmy Carter, as he was the president-elect, asked the outgoing CIA director, George Bush Sr., to brief him on this issue. And President-elect Carter was told by then outgoing CIA director Bush that he would not tell him about this issue. And he didn't say he didn't have information. He said, I will not share that with you, and directed him to get it from the Congressional Research Service, believe it or not, to saying that to the incoming president of the United States. This is well documented in Disclosure Project witness testimony from people who were privy to what happened.
One of the discoveries that emerged out of modern quantum theory is that so-called empty space isn't really empty at all. It's actually full of energy. So instead of being like kind of a quiet, empty lake, it's more like the froth at the base of a waterfall or something. And this energy is basically electromagnetic in nature. And the energy density is quite high. There's enough energy in the volume of a coffee cup to evaporate all the world's oceans if you could get it all of it. There's enough energy in the volume of a coffee cup to evaporate all the world's oceans.
We have the giant industrial or really cartel, economic cartels in energy. And it's not one cartel. So there are many, many groups in energy. And each of those has become very powerful in its own area. And each one does not wish to see simple little electrical taps pulling out enormous energy from the vacuum. They would much rather see you burning a lot more oil and so forth.
The secret behind these UFO propulsion systems and energy systems would give us an entirely new planet. Beautiful.
Okay, guys, now this next video segment is just going to be talking about the sentient world simulation that they're creating, a live augmented virtual reality within Satan's Smart Dust Confinement Dome. All right, enjoy.
Could we ever program reality? Utility fog, a concept theorized by nanoengineer John Storrs Hall, who suggested that a collective of nanotechnological devices called foglets could link together into a complex aerial swarm network. Hall initially came up with this idea as a way to prevent trauma in car crashes by stiffening the air inside the car. However, if this idea were to be extended to the atmosphere of our planet, then we'd be able to conjure things out of thin air, like wizards. If these foglets were to be directed by an AI, they could be morphed into any structure that the user finds convenient. A whole planet made up of these foglets gives us the concept of a heaven world, somewhat like the idea of a simulation heaven that we see in VR, except that this would be real life. Think of Utility Fog as a video game where the characters can leap off the screen and interact with you, disassembling and reassembling themselves into furniture, landscapes, or food anytime, anywhere. The surface of these heaven worlds would be covered in what we call programmable matter, also known as smart dust. The grains of sand under your feet are all actually robots of three-dimensional tactile material that can reshape and reform itself to suit your deepest desires. If the nanobots that make up this smart dust become cheap and plentiful enough, it would truly be bridging the gap between man and what anyone from the Dark Ages would consider a god. On a heaven world, the very dirt we walk in and the air we breathe will contain AI-directed nanites, a custom universe where you'll no longer be able to tell virtual reality from actual reality. At this point, it will no longer matter if the universe is a programmed simulation, because you'll be able to rewrite that program anyway. In fact, Google's director of engineering, Ray Kurzweil, has suggested that these nanomachines would unconditionally guarantee immortality, replacing every cell in our body until we become a collective of nanites ourselves.
D-Wave's computer runs the mirror of the entire planet.
Sentient world simulation is a matrix-like reality simulating humanity.
You are connected as an organic computer. You can do that by programming the third strand of DNA to upload our minds, our consciousness, our memories, our self-awareness into a computer. The Model 512 in 2013, Gordy Rose described as having the equivalent processing power of 7 billion human brains. You are connected as an organic computer. Purdue University published a draft white paper in 2006 describing a sentient world simulation, a mirror, a virtual reality of the entire planet and all its inhabitants. 2007, it went live. If I had my graphics up, I'd show you the progression of the model numbers of the computers coincide with the implementation of the virtual world. D-Wave's computer runs the mirror of the entire planet.
So the reason why I want you to pay close attention when you're looking at those big black boxes is that inside those boxes is a point, a chip, upon which is happening something that has never happened in the history of the Earth. It's an engineered thing which has become a nexus point for all of these parallel realities. The shadows of all of these different universes intersect at a physical point inside of one of those boxes. You can think of it as a portal.
The DNA world and the digital world are becoming rapidly interchangeable. So all of life as we know it can be sent as digital code through the internet or as an electromagnetic wave.
Let me just ask you before Craig goes on, how many of you are having trouble with this notion of digital code going over the internet and the notion of something living that's being converted back and forth like that? I mean, do you have some sense of what is going on? Can I show of hands how many people have trouble grokking this idea?
You just interconvert the DNA language with the ones and zeros in the computer, and you can send DNA as ones and zeros and recapitulate it at the other end. So we've successfully, and so with DARPA, we built synthetic genomics, the receiving unit.
Essentially, it is a nano-thin coating of gold that allows for the imparting of digital information onto that third strand of DNA.
We're now at this era where we can interconvert the biological and digital information. And so one implication of that is to be able to send biology as a digital magnetic wave. And we've been working with NASA on a sending unit.
They're not terrifically powerful yet, but they're doing something completely different than what your computer does. And that thing is like flight. It gives these computers access to these new resources, maybe you could call them parallel universes, in order to do something that you couldn't otherwise do.
And that is the electromagnetic linking between a genetically modified human comprised of third strand of DNA and the adiabatic quantum computer.
What they're going to do is apply this machine to an area that I think is fundamentally important. It's the crux of our future as humans. And that's, can we build machines like us?
The ultimate aim would be to archive enough data on each individual to be able to make a computer model of everyone on the planet.
Right now, we're inside a computer program.
Is it really so hard to believe?
What we're building in the computer databases represents real life and is both the information that's necessary and sufficient to drive all DNA-based life forms.
Remember, going back to the sentient world simulation, peer-reviewed white paper out of Purdue University in 2006. The program went live in 2007, describing humans as a node. And every person on the planet is represented in the computer software as a node. That's a data node, and given an avatar.
One of the most important things about this world is that robots can make copies easy. Just like we can easily make copies of movies or music, we can make copies of a robot. Robots can travel electronically. Instead of physically moving across the globe, you send their bits across a communication line, download them into something at the other end, and then they're there.
The D-Wave acts as a nexus point between the biological and digital worlds. It creates a bidirectional link between a digital mind and a biological mind. This allows a biological mind to be programmed like a computer. It can augment the human and give an individual superhuman capabilities, or as in the case of targeted individuals, it can be used to destroy a person's life. The voices, images, and sensations a targeted individual perceives are the direct result of being linked to the digital mirror world. It's as if you're in two places at the same time.
You are connected as an organic computer. I mean, this is one of the most quote unquote conspiracy theories that's been around for many years, decades. But the reality is we're now facing the reality of that. It is no longer a conspiracy. The science is done, and you will see this. And this is the next step on from the virtual reality goggles. And this is why it terrifies me, and this is why I'm trying to wake people up.
NASA, Google, Amazon, the NSA's computing centers, data collection centers, like in Utah and Texas, all use D-Waves computers. But they never talk about networking them. They present it to the public as though they operate independently with independent organizations. So how independent is Google? Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Why is he partnered with Google and D-Wave?
I became aware of what I describe as a social engineering program and a research and development program that was being carried out by SIS and our clients in Seattle, the Amazon Corporation. And I later learned that they were indeed experimenting with, when I say experimenting, voice-to-skull, hive mind, behavior modification technology that is frequency-based and directed at a targeted individual to basically control their entire person. The way it works is a device broadcasts a radio frequency, let's say at an individual, and that radio frequency will hook up with the resonant frequency of the individual's mind or body, or in this case, DNA.
The third strand of DNA, our DNA, right now, can be modified through nanoparticles, nanomachines. We have inhaled through the aerosolized chemtrail spraying through our GMO foods. Our environment has polluted us. We have dormant nanocells, nanomachines in our body that will be triggered by microwave impulses.
And what happens is once the resonant frequency is found in the targeted individual and the broadcast frequency matches up with that resonant frequency, those two frequencies interlock and they can be thought of as one frequency or one energy.
The nanoparticles are triggered, your DNA begins to modify in the form of a third strand. We have two strands naturally. A third strand will be developed, and it will change your body, and it will change your mind. This comes right out of DARPA. I've read the papers. I understand the process. They have digitized DNA. Remember I said digital DNA coming through the portal. They digitize DNA into binary code. They transmit it through the cloud.
And what happens is between the broadcast frequency and the individual that's receiving the broadcast frequency, once it's resonating, once they are resonating together, a super highway of frequency along which information can be sent is created. And so you can think of it just like fiber optic cables that you use to send signals over the internet that connect people to the internet. It's the exact same thing, only a wireless application of that. And so once you have connected the targeted individual with the frequency and they resonate together, then you have a perfect avenue upon which to send and receive information back and forth. And that's exactly how they manipulate someone's thoughts. They send voices into someone's head. They manipulate their emotions. They manipulate their behavior. And then that's also how they receive back from the individual in real time the vital signs, the emotions, the thoughts, what the person's seeing, what the person's hearing. And then all that information, of course, is rendered on a computer elsewhere via software, and it can be monitored and tracked in real time.
In an environment that's called the Sentient World Simulation, SWS. D-Wave's computer runs the mirror of the entire planet. The Model 512 in 2013, Gordy Rose described as having the equivalent processing power of 7 billion human brains, and each human brain processes a petaflop of data.
This computer is what will run the world. I believe is already, to a certain extent, already running the world. And because it is artificially intelligent, will give rise to the beast and the mark of the beast system and the single entity that will control everyone, every person on the planet.
Well, that was such a great video. I made this video quite a while ago. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there we go. September 27, 2020. All right, on my Odyssey channel, guys. So, yeah. So, nobody in the chatty mood tonight? Yeah, I like that video. I'm glad that I got that one. I mean, I've made a bunch of optogenetic videos, but that was just one of many. But that one, that's the only one they saved. So at least I have one of them. So yeah, so anybody else in a chatty mood? I have to see what other videos to play for you all. I've been on here for almost 3 hours. So I think at that note, I think I'm going to call it a night actually, because my children are about to call me for, their night. They call me every night. So it's about that time. So guys, thanks for being here. I'll be back tomorrow morning, probably sometime early, with my coffee and chit chat a little. If you guys want to chit chat. So on that note, thanks for being here. Much love, and keep being the change that you want to be. Sharing the love, spreading the love. And sharing is caring. So share out information, share our channels out there, share clips, I don't know, Twitter feeds, whatever. Wake up anybody around you. Do whatever you got to do to hopefully inform somebody for anything. Wake them up in some form or fashion, So, all right, guys, I'm going to play my outro. So thanks for being here. Good to see you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you'll join me tomorrow. All right. Much love. Peace.